Yogesh ji, your medium is English.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You hail from Ghaziabad.
Yes, sir.
Ghaziabad, I think, is a transliteration, Urdu transliteration or Persian transliteration. What I mean to say
Yes.
that Ghaziabad is not the oldest name of the place.
Yes, sir.
What is its ancient name?
Sir, ancient name I don't remember exactly, but I do know that what was its name preceding Ghaziabad.
How did it figure in Mahabharata?
Sir, I don't know.
What sort of link did it have with Kurukshetra?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
So your optional is history.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you tell me what is the history of 25th June 1975, which was recently in very much in news?
Yes, sir. Emergency was imposed on this day back in 1975.
What connection did it have with Allahabad?
Sir, Allahabad High Court judge ruled Mrs. Indira Gandhi's election.
What was his name?
Sir, that I don't remember.
Which constituency, this controversy related to a particular constituency
Yes, sir.
where two rivals fought the elections. One was Srimati Indira Gandhi and another was opposite her, Raj Narayan ji.
Yes.
What was the exact charge that Raj Narayan ji leveled against Srimati Indira Gandhi? And what was the ruling of Mr. Jagmohan Sinha?
Sir, it was related to malpractices in election process. Exactly, sir. I don't know the exact controversy, but
Yes, it was related to poll rigging,
yes, sir.
where Madam Gandhi was charged with misusing the offices of certain election officers and attempting to garner votes in her favor
Yes.
by misutilizing their offices.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, sir will ask later, I hope, what in fact this emergency entailed for the Indian, what sort of significance did it entail for India?
Sir, I think it has very good implications, and it showed that Indian democracy is maturing enough, because Miss Indira Gandhi was a very popular leader, and after she imposed emergency, which was not so democratic, because her cabinet knew from the press conferences and newspapers. So the people of India chooses the opposition leaders, and the transfer of power was very peaceful. So I think Indian democracy showed a maturity at that time. So it was the major significance that yes, we can choose, we can make leaders accountable. So that I think, sir.
Okay. What happened later? Yes, the Allahabad High Court single judge bench found Madam Gandhi guilty of malpractices. But what happened later? The same year, November 1975, the Supreme Court overturned the decision of the Allahabad High Court, right? But today, we imagine a situation, especially the opposition, when such things happen, it is very difficult for the High Court or for the Supreme Court, for that matter, to take such a step, despite the fact that political proactivism is absent there. What I mean to say, that though the current dispensation at the center, in fact, charged the Congress of doing such or indulging in such thing, but on the reverse, the Congress leveled it back to against this present Prime Minister, that should he go for this one, because Advani Sahab once told that the present Prime Minister is perhaps a greater dictator than earlier one. What I mean to say, that should this happen at this time, as the opposition charged that what happened in the Babri Ram Janambhoomi, this controversial case, that is the demolition of the controversial building. In fact, the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court went in favor of its decision went in favor of the current dispensation. So they say that should this happen at this time, seeing the behavior of the judges of the Supreme Court, it is difficult to take such a step. In other words, has judiciary declined in its proactivism to deal with such political decisions, or has the judiciary grown much more independent? What I mean to say.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think in our constitution we have enough provisions that judiciary is independent of executive as well as legislature. So if anything that present dispensation try to do which is unconstitutionalism, then definitely sir Supreme Court or the High Court, whatever the jurisdiction would be, will intervene. And I don't think that judiciary has lost its independence. I don't think so.
You don't think?
Yes, sir.
It means the charge of the Congress party against the present dispensation, political dispensation which is ruling at the center, is absolutely unfounded. What I mean to say.
Sir, I don't think it is unfounded, although I don't support it, because in democracy, opposition has a crucial role to play. And if they are leveling charges, then they are putting constant pressure on current dispensation that do your duty with utmost constitutionalism.
No, these things arose in the aftermath of the former Chief Justice of India being nominated to the Rajya Sabha. In fact, after 2-3 months of giving this decision, it was in fact a very tough decision to absolutely brush under carpet the decision of the High Court and give it in toto to the Ramlala Virajman. So some opposition leaders charged the present government with in fact subordinating the judiciary to its interest. So this controversy arose in the aftermath of this one, especially the decision that I just mentioned. Now coming to another point. We are discussing things from the perspective of the history. Now coming to another one. The present government headed by Mr. Narendra Modi seems to have taken an emboldened step, as the BJP leaders make it out to be, against China. What was the fault line fissures that Pandit Nehru in fact willy-nilly brought in between the relation between India and China? What do you think, that he was actually on the wrong side of the fence, or what he did at that time was the demand of the time, or he was prompted by the expediency of the time? He did not do anything that was deliberately done, and it was done with a view to favoring China.
Sir, I think the situation that unfolded in the past, I think Mr. Nehru did not lost ground anywhere, because he was from the beginning trying to make good relations with China. He even enunciated Panchsheel. So we can judge his intention that he was looking for a friendship. But China stabbed us. And although I did think that when China captured Tibet, then we could have, like we gave we gave support to Dalai Lama, we could have make some strategic moves at that time. But I think his larger intention was because India was recently became independent and we have huge population under poverty. So we at that time, if we are going with China for a friendship, then I think that was the good approach. But yes, sir, that is my view.
What was his philosophy in supporting China for the permanent membership of the Security Council? In fact, in 1954, the year when he was also pitching for her sister being the president of the United Nations General Assembly, he started a campaign, you can say, where he declined the offer given to India and instead supported China for a permanent seat at the Security Council. What was the philosophy behind this?
Sir, the philosophy I think was, I do read that America offered Pandit Nehru the seat. They said that India should get the seat. I think, sir, that was the time of Cold War between capitalist USA and the USSR. So if we have, accepted that offer, although that was not sure that we will get it, because the strategic calculations we cannot always predict. So that could have dragged us in bitter cold war between USA and USSR, and we did well, I think, remaining neutral, because we from time to time get assistance from USSR also and from USA also later.
No, do you see any dichotomy in Pandit Nehru's approach in so far as it relates to supporting China and on the other hand also supporting Dalai Lama? Dalai Lama was given exile at Dharamshala, that is asylum at Dharamshala, and granted the status of a government in exile there. While during the same time, Pandit Nehru was preparing for a red carpet welcome of Zhou Enlai, the premier of China then. He visited India in the midst of 1960. So on one hand, he gave asylum to Dalai Lama, which Mao Zedong in fact despised. On the other, he supported China's move on several fronts. So do you think that he was falsely in fact driven by a misconception, or he was driven by a misconception that giving China this sort of treatment would make China responsible to the world community, and we would at the same time we would be having the last laugh by extending our support to Dalai Lama?
Sir, I think when he offered exile to Dalai Lama, he did the right thing, because Buddhism actually born in India only, and he was the spiritual leader, and our relationship with China is independent of Dalai Lama. If we are giving home to somebody, then it does not mean we are hostile, and we proved it. We did not initially went ahead for United Nations Security Council seat. So I don't think that there is a dichotomy. These are two different things: giving exile to someone who is persecuted and maintaining friendly relationships with China.
करंटली मॉब लिंचिंग की घटनाएं बढ़ती जा रही है। मॉब लिंचिंग की घटनाएं जो बढ़ रही, क्या इसे आप सोसाइटी का फेल्योर मानते हैं या लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का फेल्योर मानते हैं?
सर, मॉब लिंचिंग जो है उसको ये कंडेमनेबल एक्ट है, और लेकिन इसके लिए सर पूरी सोसाइटी को कटघरे में खड़ा कर देना मेरे हिसाब से जायज़ नहीं है, क्योंकि कई लोग हैं, मैं भी हूँ, कई लोग हैं जो कि इसके सख्त खिलाफ करते हैं। तो मैं सर मैं इसको ऐसे देखता हूँ कि ये कहीं ना कहीं लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का सिलेक्टेड प्लेसेस पे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का इशू, प्लस जो रूमर्स, कभी कभी सर देखा गया कि रूमर्स की वजह से कई बार ये इंसिडेंट होते हैं। तो मुझे सर ये इस चीज़ का लगता है, मैं सोसाइटी को एज कटघरे में नहीं खड़ा करूँगा।
ओके, सोशल मीडिया को रेगुलेट करने की बात हो रही है कि सोशल मीडिया के कारण सोशल सिक्योरिटी भी अफेक्ट हो रही है, इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी भी अफेक्ट हो रही है। तो क्या आप इसके फेवर में है कि सोशल मीडिया को रेगुलेट किया जाए? कहीं ये आपके अधिकारों पर एक तरह से जो है रिस्ट्रिक्शन इम्पोज तो नहीं किया जा रहा है? बार बार चर्चा उठ रही है कि सोशल मीडिया हमारे सिक्योरिटी को अफेक्ट कर रही है, तो सोशल मीडिया को रेगुलेट करना जरूरी है, लेकिन कुछ लोग अपोज कर रहे हैं। तो आपका व्यू क्या, सोशल मीडिया को रेगुलेट किया जाना चाहिए या नहीं किया जाना चाहिए?
सर, अभी जैसे कोरोना पैंडेमिक चल रहा है, तो हमने देखा है कि सोशल मीडिया एक बहुत इफेक्टिव मीडिया बन के उभरा है, चाहे वो कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन पहुंचाना हो या किसी भी तरीके का। तो सर मैं मानता हूं कि ये डबल एज सोर्ड है। एक तरफ तो ये हमको बेनिफिट देता है, अगर सरकार को अपनी कोई पॉलिसीज चलानी है, इवन इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस आजकल जो है सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू भी देखे जाते हैं, प्रिज्म से देखे जाते हैं। तो सर मैं ये समझता हूँ कि सोशल मीडिया जो हमारे जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, जैसे ट्विटर है, फेसबुक है, तो इनको खुद ही अपना मैकेनिज्म ऐसा लाना चाहिए, और सर लाए भी हैं। जैसे फैक्ट चेक कई सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स ने इनिशिएट किया है, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली जो सिक्योरिटी से जो हमारा इशू सोशल मीडिया से जो उभरता है, वो सर ये रूमर्स और जो फेक न्यूज़ जो ये स्प्रेड होती हैं, और सर जो टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटीज जो ये अपना प्रोपेगेंडा चलाते हैं, तो इसकी वजह से होता है। और सर इसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि हमारी सरकार ने भी और सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स ने भी इसके लिए काम किया है। जैसे अगर सर कोई फेक न्यूज शेयर करे तो उसका जो है फैक्ट चेक भी आजकल मीडिया से लेकर के सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स, इवन सर गवर्नमेंट पीआईबी का जो ट्विटर चैनल है वो भी सर करता है। तो मेरे हिसाब से अगर ये सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स के फ्रॉम विद इन अगर ये रिफॉर्म आए या कोई ऐसा प्रोसेस आए तो वो सराहनीय होगा सर।
साउथ चाइना सी एपिसोड क्या है? साउथ चाइना सी एपिसोड क्या है? दक्षिणी चीन सागर मुद्दा क्या है?
सर उसमें साउथ ईस्ट एशिया के जितने भी देश हैं वो सर उनसे चाइना डिस्प्यूट कर रहा है अपने आइलैंड्स और 9 डैश लाइन जो है उसको लेकर के, और वहां से सर बहुत ज्यादा ट्रेड हमारा इंडिया का और वर्ल्ड का वो पास होता है, चाहे वो पेट्रोलियम हो चाहे वो अदर कार्गो हो। तो उसके लेके चाइना जो है जो फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन है कहीं ना कहीं उसका उल्लंघन कर रहा है। तो इसको लेकर के ये साउथ चाइना सी अक्सर न्यूज में रहता है।
What is basic difference between health tourism and medical tourism? Government of India want to promote medical tourism. Baba Ramdev want to promote health tourism. What two approaches?
Sir, I know it, but exactly I don't remember, so I can tell you for sure.
Okay. So, I would like to know from your side, do you know something about the Big Bang Theory?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do little bit.
Yeah. So, how much time ago it happened by the way? Any idea?
Sir, it is billion years from ago, 4.2 billion years ago. Sir. I exactly don't remember, sir.
Okay, recently it was in news, okay, due to the lithium presence in the star and the planet. So which one used to have a more lithium present, okay, a star or planet?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware of it.
You are not aware. Do you know something about the herd immunity?
Yes, sir.
What is herd immunity?
Sir, herd immunity is defined as when any disease is spread. Initially, it spread at a fast rate.
Mhm.
Then the affected persons,
Mhm.
when they recover,
Mhm.
they have a lesser tendency to infect again.
You are
With that-
using the word lesser tendency.
They are less prone to that disease once again.
Mhm.
So once any disease is spread to the larger society,
Mhm.
then slowly there are less people
Mhm.
who are more prone to
Mhm.
such diseases.
Mhm.
Those who are not infected. So this is herd immunity. Like after some time, community itself showing.
So sometime, would you like to be specific here? What is the percentage of population before the herd immunity actually being achieved?
So that I don't aware of. So
I'm giving you the options. Okay, 60 to 70%, 40 to 50%, 30 to 40%, and 80 to 90%. 4 options I'm giving.
Sir, I think it should be more, but again, sir, I exactly cannot
Okay.
answer it.
So, what is the flattening of curve? What is the flattening of curve?
Flattening of curve is
Related to COVID.
Yes, sir. Flattening of curve is seen as when number of cases started started increasing.
Okay.
Means they are stable. The number of infections that are reporting that become stable.
Number of infection or percentage of infection?
Sir, I think active cases.
Active cases.
Active cases.
Okay. So recently on 8th May, the Government of India toned down the parameters for releasing the COVID patient from hospital. So what was the difference before 8th May and after 8th May?
Yes, sir. There was some regulation that the time frame of earlier there used to be 2 tests, I think.
Yeah.
And that was now reduced to 1 test, or the days of quarantine was also, I think, sir, I am actually not very specific.
Not
Only known.
specific here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the difference between the procurement price and the MSP? Minimum support price and procurement price I am looking for.
Sir, procurement price is the rate at which Procurement price. Okay. Sir, I know about minimum support price. Procurement price I'm not remembering right now.
Okay, recently in the recent announcement, in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, okay, there was something related to the agriculture reform. Okay, give me a specific 2-3 points related to that.
Yes, sir. Recently, central government introduced an ordinance for operationalizing the announcement they made in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and under which it is announced that the APMCs will be will be integrated and private spaces will be introduced so that farmer would be able to.
There is something specific related to the logistic infrastructure there, okay, and something related to the contract farming. I would like to know from your side about these 3 things.
Yes, sir. For farm gate infrastructure, there was some allocation. I think it was 2 lakh crore for farm gate infrastructure. And other than, sir, there was announcement for credit also using Kisan credit cards. Yes, sir.
So, what about the MSMEs by the way, under Atmanirbhar Bharat? Any idea?
Yes, sir. Their definition have been changed. They have been actually expanded to benefit more MSMEs. And there was also announcement for subordinate loans. Amount I don't know, but yes, there was loans. And
So, what is credit guarantee?
yes, credit guarantee was also announced.
What is this?
Yes, sir. The loans that will be given to MSMEs, there is a possibility that they may not be recovered. Banks may not be able to recover those loans.
Okay.
So for that, Government of India will refinance it to the banks if in case they
Refinance it.
or they sir.
So 100% refinance in terms there is a
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes, sir.
or 80-20.
Sir, refinance I understood to be 100%. All the details.
Any
I-
subcategory there?
Sir, I don't remember, sir.
Okay, so again I would like to know from your side, Mr. Yogesh,
Yes, sir.
you hails from Ghaziabad.
Yes.
Okay, so there is so many crime seen in the Ghaziabad in recent years. What could be the possible reason behind that?
Sir, possible reason I see is that Delhi is massively urbanized, and lot of people that are not living in Delhi, they migrate from other areas and they live in Ghaziabad, in small jhuggi areas, slum areas. And sir, there is a strong case of poor urbanization that I see, and with the and when sir they have poor job opportunities, and so sir I am not able to.
What is land consolidation?
Yes, land consolidation.
Is it anywhere related to the crime also?
Sir,
Are you
they
in position to make up some link between these two?
Yes, sir. There I can make some link.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as we are seeing, there is a fragmentation of land, and so the productivity of land has actually decreased and its cost increased. So in that way, the farming communities and the people from rural background are they are having less and less opportunities for income. So I think if you are talking about that, this can.
So what is the right now the balance of payment of India? Recently it was in news due to some reason. Balance of payment. Do you have any idea about the forex reserve?
Yes, sir. It has been recently all-time high.
What is the position?
Sir, it crossed 500 billion mark
500.
recently. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all from my side.
Okay, I would like to tell you a few things. The good as well as the weak point, not bad point. Your strength First, you are good at language, good at approach, good response, good knowledge at time.